if I had told you, the mic is on now, if I had told you a week ago that Gujarat will be playing Mumbai and one would be 1 and the other would be 10, you'd perhaps have guessed the other way around. Well, a month ago, not a week ago. A week ago, you would have known that this is what the score is, and it would have still shocked you. It's perhaps even shocking you now. You would have perhaps asked me that have I been drinking in the day? I do, but I can operate. But today, the truth is that one of these teams is top of the table and the other one's bringing up the rear, and it's Gujarat that's on top, and it's Mumbai who's at number 10. Things change, man. The world is round, things change, and this is what it's come to now. So whether you accept it or not, this is what the truth is. But there's another truth, which is that when these two teams play each other, of course there's going to be excitement because one of them is captained by a former stalwart of the first. Talking about Hardik Pandya. That's right. Hardik is Mumbai. Mumbai is Hardik. Well, no, not this season because he's captaining Gujarat and they're top of the table. All right, it's going to be a very interesting clash for sure. And we're going to make it more interesting because here on Cricbuzz Live with me, Gaurav Kapur, I have Harsha Bhogle and Simon Doull. Harsha, who is wearing black today in protest because he's not happy with Mumbai being last. Is it in protest or is it in solidarity with Simon, the Black Caps?
It's cool, man. Black is cool.
Okay, not scientifically, but culturally,
no, it's
yes.
Cool.
It's cool. I like
Black
it.
was the first one.
That was when you but you know something? There's a lot of fans. There's a lot of Mumbai fans whose mood has been a bit like your shirt, dark.
Yes.
But with that one win, who would have thought that Mumbai fans would get appeased and happy with just one win? One win for them was like, Tuesday. It's going to come every week. It's no problem. Right?
Yeah, hello, mate. Good evening to you and Harsha. Look, they've had a poor season. I think they've sort of admitted themselves that they didn't quite get the auction right as well. We've heard murmurs of that from the hierarchy that they didn't quite get the auction right. They've had some of their players that they thought would perform not quite perform up to expectations in Ishan Kishan and probably Kyron Pollard at times as well. Tim David didn't get a decent run. Bumrah's lacking wickets. I don't think he's bowling badly. I think he's still bowling very, very well, but he's not getting a lot of help. There's a lot of contributing factors to Mumbai's downfall this year. And just don't forget that the other teams are good. Every team you come up against in this competition is a good side. And one or two performances at the top level can see you, lagging behind. If you're not at your best, and Mumbai haven't been at their best, then they're found wanting and they're found labouring at the bottom of the table, and that's kind of where it's at. So they will take any win they can, and they'll still try and upset sides. Going to the last 4 games, they want to upset everyone they play against, and particularly when you come up against the table toppers.
Yeah, and the thing with them, Harsha, is now that the cheering squad for Mumbai has expanded because it's not just their fans, but it's the fans of 8 other teams who are cheering for them on any given day because they want Mumbai to defeat everybody so that their team stands a chance.
Except, 8 other teams.
Yeah.
Therefore, not the team that is playing against Mumbai on that day. Well said. But if you notice in the last few games, this ranking has gone for a bit of a toss. The lower ranked teams have started to beat the higher ranked teams, and that is what makes this tournament what it is. Yeah. So don't be surprised if Mumbai suddenly put together a winning streak, just a little something, there's a loose contact somewhere, dal diya, and it starts to work because these are very good players. Rohit Sharma is not a bad player. Rohit Sharma is not a 160, 170 run player. Ishan Kishan's a better player than that, but Ishan Kishan is like one of those sine curves, He's there, then he's there, then he's there. So he might just have hit this curve and started to go up again. Pollard is the question, whether Pollard's dip is symptomatic of something else. But Bumrah's a better player than that. Surya Kumar Yadav is going to do well. So it's a side that's got solid players in it. Yeah. So I won't be surprised if they put together a little streak. And my personal feeling, and Hardik referred to that in an oblique way at the toss, I think Gujarat Titans have overperformed.
Yeah.
When I say overperformed, I'm not saying they were not good enough and so they've gone up. I said this was the expectation from them and they're playing here. Now they're going to be judged here. So we'll see how they go, because you look at their top 7. And I promise you, there will not be one person in the cricket world who will look at the top 7 and say they would have won 8 out of 10. And that's how well they've played. Actually, that's how well they've extracted everything out of themselves.
And that's what it is, right? That's what cricket is about. And that's what a level playing field of this tournament is about. You don't know who's going to become a hero. It's about answering the call on that particular day. Is it your destiny? Are you up for it? Is that your temperament? You putting your hand up. And I think that's what Doull has been the secret of success for the Titans, is that every day, every game, somebody else puts their hand up saying, I got you, brother.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. I mean, Hardik's been great with the bat in particular. They've found David Miller's form. I don't know where it was hiding, somewhere between South Africa and India. Every year, he seemed to lose it over the ocean. But he actually brought it with him on the plane this time around, and they found it in one of the cabins. And he has been, sensational for them. Rahul Tewatia is winning games. He's not just a one-game wonder. This guy's now won 3 games for them. Not on his own, but in a context, he's actually won 3 games for them. Their bowling attack, I think, is very good. I think that's one thing. But I looked at their batting and I thought, they just look like they're an Indian quality batter, at least 1, if not 2, short. But they're just finding guys time and time again. And to be honest with you, Shubman Gill hasn't had the best of seasons, and he was probably there. He was, if you look down that list, he was their pick of Indian batters. He has not had the best of seasons. Look at that. 102 strike rate and 12. And they're sitting on top of the table with their supposed best Indian batsman, who's had an awful season so far. So if all of a sudden he starts to find form, things change completely again for them. So their bowlers and Hardik and Tewatia and Miller have kind of kept them in the competition, but now everybody's gunning for them. So it becomes more difficult now. They are no longer a hidden prospect. Everybody knows everything about them. So it becomes, as Harsha said, I think it becomes a lot more difficult for them now.
Yeah, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. They're on top of that points table. And I think Harsha put it so well that you're kind of being judged at this standard, and then you up your game, and that's the standard that you're going to be judged on, because they're looking at you. They won the toss today, and they've decided no more experimentation. Let's not try to be cute, right? Sean Pollock said it the other day, I think, where he said, they're being too cute. I don't like it. And well, it worked out that Gujarat didn't like it themselves. Today, they're not being cute. Today, they've decided that they're going to chase. I think, Harsha, it's very interesting for both these teams, right? They both come from a position where they can experiment now. One comes from the position that, well, we've got nothing left to lose in this tournament. And one comes from, we've earned that luxury to experiment, right? So they're both coming with completely diverse reasons, but with kind of the same methodology. But it's good to see that Gujarat's not done that. Eye on the ball. Let's get the Q against our name, and then we can be cute if we want to.
I think it's fair to say if they win this one, they will get that Q against their name. I mean, you'll still have to work out the numbers, but I don't see, if they get 18 points, I don't see 4 teams beating them beyond 18. So I think 18 is cool. So they will get that. What they need to be careful about is they're going to make the playoffs. There's no doubt about it. They're going to make the playoffs. But when they enter the playoffs, they don't want to enter the playoff on a 2 or 3 game losing streak with the same team that they're playing. So they want to ensure that they're going into the playoffs on a high, because once you get there, you never really know. But so I think every team plans to make the playoffs. You don't plan to win because you don't know what's going to happen in the knockout games. So from that point of view, yes, Gujarat want to keep that juggernaut rolling. Mumbai is the tricky one. Can Mumbai start thinking of next season and say, okay, let's give someone a break? But you're Mumbai Indians, you're Real Madrid.
Yeah.
If you're playing against the team ranked is 16, 17, or if you are 16, 17, whatever, but you're still Real Madrid. You're still expected to turn up and play a certain way, right? So Mumbai have got to go with what their best team under the circumstances and say, no, we can't just throw caps around. We'll play the best we can and we'll win the last 4 games and tell our fans, look, there was a blip at the start. We had a different chef. Thoda namak, everything was all over the place. This is who we are.
Yeah, so they made one change today, and that's a first change, right? Because of Hrithik Shokeen being hurt, so he's not.
He said tactical. He said tactical at the toss.
Did he say tactical? Oh, he didn't say
tactical change at the toss.
So tactical change is that Murugan Ashwin comes in. I guess they're probably happy with that batting then, with Daniel Sons coming at 7. So Murugan Ashwin is the one person who comes in here. That's the only change that they've made. But Doull, for you here, I mean, it's interesting, right? There's a lot of murmur outside saying, well, maybe they should just prep for next year. There's no point. Those games are 11 months later. You can play 1 or 2 players right now. I don't think it's just talk, right? It doesn't practically serve that purpose.
No, what it would do, you've got young guys in your squad that you want to find out a little bit more about. You go back to Chennai playing Ruturaj 2 seasons ago in the last 4 games of the competition.
Can I just add Hyderabad, Umran Malik last season?
Yeah, Hyderabad playing Umran Malik. So you can look at certain situations, certain players and say, okay, is he our future? We think so. We'd like to find out. We'd like to find out now. So they're doing the same thing now with Devon Conway. And they're saying, okay, we think he's our future. He's got to play the last 4 games. So if Mumbai have got those sort of players in their midst, then I agree with it. That's okay. Is he our future? Yes. I mean, they found out a little bit about Devolt Brevis already. I think he's shown that he has the ability to cope at this level, and he'll come back in 11 months' time a lot better player. He'll have played some more first-class cricket. He'll possibly even have played for South Africa or been on tour with South Africa. So they'll find out that. But it's the other options around it. Do they have someone that they think can come in and play a role next year? Then maybe you can play them. I can see that happening. But until then, you still got to play your best side that you've got right here, right now, and try and win games.
Would you do a little tweak? Would you say, okay, Ishan Kishan got a lot of runs at number 4. He's struggling with the extra pace. Lockie Ferguson's got extra pace. Alzari's got extra pace. Their length is back of a length, straight coming up to him. So should we try Tilak Varma as a natural number 3? Should we try and see if Tilak Varma wants to open the batting and have Ishan Kishan batting at 4? I don't know whether they want to do little things like that.
Yeah, maybe that's an option. The one thing I will say, though, and the one thing we've all noticed, Harsh, haven't we, is you just can't avoid pace in this competition.
No,
whether it be at the
not
front
this
or
year.
in the middle. Not this year. It's been phenomenal. It's been so good.
157.
Yeah, well, that's a phenomenon. We know that. But I mean, even the guys bowling in excess of 140, you could sit here and name 10 guys bowling in excess of 140, 145 in this competition. So I just think, it's very difficult to avoid pace. But I don't mind that option either. If they want to find out whether Tilak Varma is capable of opening the batting and Ishan Kishan can produce some runs for them at 4, then it's not a bad option.
Let's have a look at our Cricbuzz live question. I'll tell you why. We'll just pull that up on the screen. There you go. Mumbai is a license to experiment with impunity. What is one tactical or personal change that you'd like Mumbai to make? That was a question by Mungeri Lal, which obviously is not the name on your passport, but thank you for that question. And we have
He's got
just
lovely dreams.
Yeah,
He's
that's
got
right.
lovely dreams.
That's right. That is a pop culture reference that only people of a certain vintage will understand. So we will just move on from that.
Thank you very much.
I get it, though.
It just makes me feel so. It makes me feel so young and sprightly and about the world. Julie, that
no
was
idea.
a serial called
Can I tell you?
Mungeri Lal ke Haseen Sapne from when we were younger.
Yeah, can I tell you something? We must call your sons and ask them if they know this reference or not. We'll instantly know which side I am on, right? Which side I am on. I mean, their generation.
Can we stop rubbing salt into the wounds?
I'm salting my wounds as well. But Mungeri Lal, we just want to tell you that this is Cricbuzz Live. Much like the tournament this year, with the table being all upside down, we do things upside down as well. We gave the answer first and then we took your question because that's just how we do things here, man. CB, we like to mix things up. That's right. So the teams, well, they're not mixing anything up with their 11s, as you saw. Just the one change for Mumbai, no change at all for Gujarat. But let's talk about their bowling. I think that's been one area of concern for Mumbai, but that's been one thing that's been good for Gujarat. But I specifically, Dooley, want to bring up Lockie Ferguson because in Hindi, I have this saying that I use very often saying, Kabhi Shatak, Kabhi Batak. Shatak is 100, Batak is a duck, right? So Kabhi Shatak, Kabhi Batak, which means one day you have a super day and one day you have a really rubbish day. With Lockie, what's going on with him? Because you see, either he's destroying the opposition or the opposition is destroying him. There's no middle.
No, there's not. We have a saying in English, G, and it's like the penthouse to the outhouse.
Nice. I like
said like a true lover of real estate.
That's it. So that's kind of
He
the
loves
same
real
thing as
estate more than he loves
same
sports.
thing as what you're saying. But I mean, and that's I look at we talked about Umran Malik as well. Since that 5-for, he's got none for 100 off 8 overs. So with pace also comes the ability to travel, and that's what's happened with Lockie Ferguson. When he hasn't quite got it right, he has travelled the distance, and it's been a tough season for him. He had a couple of great games at the start, but they just it's almost about putting back-to-back games together, which he hasn't been able to do just yet. So with pace comes great responsibility.
Yes, it does. And with pace,
and he hasn't
sometimes
quite
comes,
nailed it just yet.
yeah, with pace sometimes comes great pace back, right? Like yesterday, we saw Umran Malik bowling one at 157 and going back at 257. So that can happen as well, depending on who's batting against you. But a lot of it is getting covered up, Harsha, by this really underrated performer, right? Not underrated, perhaps amongst anybody who watches, but somehow Mohammad Shami tends to go below the radar. You see the number of people running after him on the auction as well, right? He's just getting the job done. He is just an amazing T20 bowler season after season. Yet, I don't know, maybe he should make a few more IG reels. I don't know. What's going on?
Never underestimate the power play wicket taker.
Yeah.
Mumbai's big years were built around Trent Bolt taking wickets in the power play.
True.
One of the reasons Gujarat is doing really well, Lockie and now Alzari are doing well too, but Shami is giving you wickets in the power play. Or rather, when he's not taking wickets, he's asking a lot of questions in the power play. You look at, there's the number. Death
He's
11.
number one. He's number one.
Yeah.
Top.
Power play 6.54, death 11. Don't waste him there. So do what? Who bowls out? Who's the bowler? The bowls 3 up front and bowls out around 12. I think that's what they need to do with him.
Yeah.
Bowl the 11th,
Umesh?
Umesh, correct. There you go.
Umesh
Yadav.
yeah.
Bowl Shami like Umesh Yadav.
Mm-hmm. And that's the same thing
Straight
that
up front finish.
what Rajasthan need to be doing with Trent Bolt as well. I don't think that Trent Bolt's a genuine death bowler, and I think they get it right when they bowl him 2 or 3 up front, picks up wickets, and then comes back for 1 or 2 in the middle stage, or 1 in the middle stage. And I think you're absolutely right. I would do the same thing with Shami. I would bowl him 2 if he's going well. Bowl him 3 up front, and then 1 about the 12th or 13th over, and just the death. I mean, if Hardik's got to bowl 1 at the death if he's fit to bowl, that's fine. I don't see any reason why Rashid can't bowl a death over.
Yeah.
Absolutely no reason why he can't. So
he's doing it more than he used to.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if they can figure that out, Alzari's more than useful at the death. I mean, they got 3 good options with Lockie, Alzari, and Rashid, I think, to bowl and over at the death if they wanted to use it that way.
Okay, let's also talk really quickly about Surya Kumar Yadav, because he's really been perhaps the only batter who, through the season, he missed the first couple of games, but through the season, he seems to have carried the touch of the last, 18 months or so that Surya's been in. You've got to bat Sky at 3, Harsha. I mean, they've earned. They had Brevis at 3, Tilak at 4, and this is his number. This is his magical number. This is where he controls the game, wins the game, powers the game. Got to let him play here like they did last game.
There's 2 things to look at in that graphic. Not just the line in blue, but the line above, the name above the line in blue too. How many people would look at Sanju Samson and say in the last 35 innings, he's averaging close to 40 strike rate, 150. Yeah. What do you say when you think of Sanju Samson? You say, oh, exasperating. But over 35 games, that's what is delivered. But we're talking about Sky. I think they wanted Sky everywhere. If Pollard was doing very well, they would have had Sky at 3. But because they want Sky to do a repair job, they're losing Sky at 3. So I agree. In their best season, Sky batted at 3. If you got a match window can win you games from there, that's fine. So what he's doing now is he's giving you very good 30s and 40s, but he's not giving you the 70s and 80s, which is what they want. So I'll be surprised if they don't have Sky back up at 3. But maybe they just think, when a team is on its way down, you start thinking, what if? You don't say, what if he goes and scores 80? You say, what if out of gaya to?
Yeah. You're robbing Peter to pay Paul, aren't you? Which is just silly. It makes no sense whatsoever to me. He is, look, you look at Rohit's numbers, they're okay only in the last 4 years, 3 years. Sky's numbers are as good as anyone in that side, and he needs to bat 3. That's where his role is. That's where he's going to bat for India. So why does he have to bat anywhere else in this Mumbai side? I just think they're making a mistake by batting him anywhere else except for 3.
Robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Yes. Did you just see what Dooley did there?
What?
He just dropped. Do you see what something he didn't drop? He dropped something.
Penny
What did he say
dropped,
Sky is
Mike
going to
dropped.
do? No, where did he say Sky is going to bat for India?
He said Sky's going to bat 3 or 4.
3 for India, he said.
Yeah. Oh, 3. Okay. Sorry. I just understood what he said there. Because in my head, Sky's always been batting at 4 for India because that question hasn't been answered for years, right? So I'm thinking Sky's going to be at 4 because please put a stop to the bleeding at 4 for India. But yeah, I see what you said there. I just want to inform you, Mr. Simon Doull, that you're going to be the headline in tomorrow's newspaper. So yeah, just saying. All right,
turn off your social media.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to be there. But yeah, you're so right. It's because Kieron Pollard is not getting them runs. They're keeping him there to sort of just hold up the back end where he should actually be leading the charge. He needs to be the pointy end of your arrow. And well, that's really not happening. And Mumbai is really
also because he plays spin so well.
Yeah,
because he plays spin so well too. He plays these lovely wristy inside-out shots. You know, every time you think of Sky, this pretending bat in my hand, I tend to do this because he plays here, he play there. Because he can do that as well, and that's a skill very few have. Hitting spin in the middle overs is not a very common skill, and so because of that, I think they're playing him further down.
Yeah, and also I guess because they had the youngsters batting at 3 and 4, right? They had Brevis and Tilak batting at 3 and 4. So it was almost like give them less pressure situations. So they would go ahead, but they would go in pressure situations anyway because your openers are not getting you runs. So yeah, will Mumbai make any changes in their batting order today? I don't know. If you were to advise them, we spoke about it, right? Can you play Ishant at 4? Can you push Tilak up? Realistically, for a team, Dooley, that's lacking confidence, would you make that kind of a change?
I just think your best players have got to bat in that top 3 still. And if you still believe that you know, I mean, Rohit's definitely going to open. Who is your best player to open the batting? Is it Tilak Varma? If they think that that's a better position for Ishan to bat as number 4, then get him down there and move Sky up to 3. You know, you just want. I want Surya Kumar facing as many balls as possible. And if he's in there in the first over, he's more than capable. I know he plays spin beautifully, but he plays the short bowling and the quick bowling well too. So, you know, what if he's in for 15, 20 balls before the spinners come on? Then he's even in a better position. So I just think that 3 is his number when he's playing in the form he's been in this year after missing the first couple of games. I don't know why. You know, it's like a protection thing. Oh, we'll bet him at 4 just in case we lose early wickets. Well, if you're playing just in case, you don't deserve to be in this competition. You know, you're here to put your best team forward, your best foot forward time and time again. And they, you know, they just need to bet him at 3, I think.
Are you planning to optimize success or are you planning to reduce failure? What is your planning? Right. So that's what it is. Let's have a look. Interestingly, while these teams are both polar opposites, if you notice one thing, they have wicket-keeping opening batsmen, right? And both of them have been polar opposites in this tournament. One's young and flashy and considered the future. The other one, well, he was considered, that it's over, it's finished, right? Picked him up at a fraction of kind of the price that Ishan went for. I think it was 1/8 of the price that they picked him up for. And look at the returns that Riddhiman Saha is giving to that Gujarat team. He's going hammer and tongs in the power play. And he's kind of covering up the fact that Shubman's not really got runs in the last 7 matches, Harsha.
Absolutely. And I almost think they put him there saying, okay, Matthew Wade's not doing too well, but you know what? We need more overseas pace bowling. So let's have Alzari and Lockie both playing together. David Miller's doing very well. We can't leave out Rashid. So what do we do? Okay, we need different wicketkeeper. So what do we do? Where can Riddhiman bat? Okay, let's put him to open the batting because if he gives you a quick 10 or 12, that's still okay. Because Riddhiman Saha batting at that number is not expected to give you a 70, 80 and win you a game. So everything is a plus when he goes out to bat. So he's playing with no pressure at all. And it's working for him. So actually, you look down the order, just put that Gujarat Titans again team up. Now, who's at number 3? Sai Sudarshan. I mean, we've got Hardik Pandya up there, but the other day, Sai Sudarshan batted at number 3. They've called him back too. So actually, if you see, that batting order is not scaring anybody. But as Dooley said, David Miller, when he was packing, he suddenly found that little thing that all these years, I knew I had it. So he quickly packed it in. He's come back and scoring runs. And now you can't just say he's doing a Tevatia because he's done it too often now. It's not an unusual event when he does that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I still look at that side and say, who's the batsman you're scared of in that side?
Well, I mean, as we said earlier, it was Shubman Gill. He was the guy. He was they were hanging their hat on him as their senior, their major sort of Indian player for this season, weren't they? They weren't expecting Hardik to be doing what he's doing with the bat. They were hoping that Hardik would be able to contribute with good runs and wickets and overs, but they weren't expecting him to do what he did. They weren't expecting Miller, I don't think, to do what he's done. Tewatia, Sai Sudarshan. I mean, I think he looks like a good player. Just another. He's a product of Tamil Nadu, isn't he, Sai Sudarshan?
Yeah.
I mean, just another kid
old.
that's come out of. They continue to churn out some very, very good players that that region of the country. So it's not a side that you look at and think, wow, why are they top of the table? Why? But as we've talked about time and time again, different players getting a Player of the Match awards. I think they've had 6 or 7 different players winning Player of the Match awards. It's just it's just a side that has gelled together well, and they seem to be in good spirits. Time will tell if they have a loss or 2 in a row, how the franchise handle that, how Hardik handles that. But at the moment, they seem to just be in very good spirits. And every time you talk to one of their players or see one of their players, they just seem like a very relaxed and calm bunch.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
For
the proof that the best bowling sides are doing well. You get 5 proper bowlers in your side, and then take 6 batsmen and don't expect anything else. And that's what's worked for them.
That's why you keep a bowler as head coach, huh? Yeah, Dooley, come on. One for the bowlers.
Exactly.
Yeah, one for the bowlers.
One for the
But I
bowlers.
got to say, I think it's quite interesting that we said that maybe it was just us who was not expecting that to happen. I guess the Gujarat team was always expecting these guys to come good match after match. So I think that's the difference. That's why they've surprised us, because they believed in all these people. Listen, they don't have a third wicket keeper. So they went from Matthew Wade to Ridhiman Saha. After Ridhiman Saha, anybody can take the gloves, because they don't have, I think, a third wicket keeper. These are the 2 that they picked up kind of right towards the end. Do they? If you go down that list, Gurbaz is, but a foreign. So no Indian, right? So they have to get another foreign player if they had to do. So it's quite interesting. They've obviously, they were onto something. And let's see if they're onto that today as well. And let's see if all of you are onto something, because you have to be onto something if you want to answer the joy factor question. Because I tell you what, they ain't easy, man. They ain't everybody's piece of cake. They aren't everybody's slice of pie. They are. Show the question. No, I can keep going like this otherwise. There's no point. Sure. Which bowler currently playing in the league has got 35% of his victims LBW in T20Is? What? Oh, I think I know. I'll just give, yeah.
Someone who bowls straight doesn't turn. My fast bowler unlikely.
Yeah.
Unless he's
Yes,
my
sir.
pace.
Yes, sir. 3 bags full. Yes, sir. 3 bags full. If you have the answer, then send it to us. Hashtag Cricbuzz Live on Twitter. Hashtag Joy Factor. We've given you all the clues that we could. Joy has a habit of giving the question from amongst the personnel or the people or the day or the date, which is current, right? So think that.
It could be, by the way, it could be some assistant coach in the sitting third from left in the dugout of some team. What happened to you? Okay.
I'm sorry, I was just having a cup of tea, and then I realized that actually the amount of time it'll go, you'll spend going through the MI support staff, the game's going to be over. Right? It's easier if you run through Gujarat. If you run through Mumbai, it's just never going to end. It extends into the west stand of the stadium. All right. Retro Reels is Joy's new show on Cricbuzz Plus. That has dropped today. The new episode is dropped today. I have it on good authority. I know that it is dropped today because it's Friday. And that's what he does on a Friday before he takes the weekend off. So go have a look on Cricbuzz Plus, subscribe and sign up to that. We just have one last piece of business, and it's the most important piece of business because this is all that matters to us, to get our score guess correct. Mumbai batting first in Brabon. Yes, we saw the number of sixes that were hit yesterday. I think it was 104. 104, felt like. Let's see if Mumbai can do that batting first today. This is a tough one to guess. Very tough one to guess. Who goes first?
Look, we were there yesterday. It is a high-scoring ground. That's the one thing I will say. If you don't get big runs there, you are in trouble. I'm going to say that they do have a night to remember, and they get 197.
Whoa!
But I was going to say 187.
Say 187. I'll say 287.
Now I can say no. Now I can say no. Atithi Devo Bhava. So you went to him first?
No, I just said who wants to speak first. I don't want to get in the middle of this. I was like, you guys decide.
But I want to say 187. Together. I wanted to say 187 anyway. I hope they don't get some 121 or something.
You're going high or low, G?
I'm going high. 207. Like yesterday.
Oh, low G.
Come on. No low G, sir. High G. High G.
No. Let's quickly go back to the game. We are now descending to high G and low G.
High G and low G. So we're gonna go now. If you want to take a nap like Mungeri Lal and see some good dreams, you can do that. But just come back at the end of the 10th over for Cricbuzz Combox when we have a look see what Mumbai is up to while batting first. Come on. I mean, the thing is, I know, it's very difficult to take sides because you have your favorite players on both sides, all of you. But, just saying, teams lower, if they push the teams higher, there's traffic jam going into the last week. That's what I want. I want a traffic jam. I live in Mumbai. Traffic jam is like my drugs. I get high on traffic jam. So that's what I want. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. That's why I'm going for 207. Thank you so much to Simon Doull and Harsha Bhogle. Thank you so much for being on the show. We're going to see you all in a little bit. I'm Gaurav Kapur. This was Cricbuzz Live. Please make sure that your notifications are on the app so that the next time our pretty faces are on the screen, you guys get a little beep and All right, time for us to go. Bye-bye.